Well, the Saints are officially have hit rock bottom. I'd say, try to tend to be positive. You just look at the glass. Is it half full or half empty? It depends on your attitude. You can say, I'm a kind of a half full kind of guy, or you might be, no, I'm a pessimist. It's half empty. Well, going into the Carolina game, the damn glass was empty. So it was nothing left. But you know what just happened? You went to fill up the glass again, and it slipped out your hand, and you dropped it on the floor, and it shattered. And it just broke all to pieces. So 7 games in a row. Now, hey, listen. Dennis Allen's a nice guy. I mean, he really is. He's not, sometimes like Ditka or even Sean's personality, they could kind of get under your skin. But if they're on your side, y'all for them if they're winning.
Right.
The bottom line is you have to win. I think Haslett sometimes, but Dennis Allen, no, he's a nice guy, but the bottom line, you can be a nice guy if you win. If you don't win, then changes will have to be made. It's like I said last week, that, because I viewed us, and this kind of been the situation in the Dennis Allen post Sean Payton. We're not bad, but we're not like good. We're not elite. We kind of middle of the pack. There's 32 teams, so, we about 9-8, 8-9 team, 15 or 16 ranked out of the 32 teams. Hebert in the middle. Well, I was wrong. I don't think so. And then I said, last week after we lost 6 in a row, said, we're in the 20s. We're not in the middle of the pack.
Lower.
We're not even in the 20s. We're more like in the 30s now. And that's either last, one before last, or number 30. So there's 32 teams. So I think right now, the way we're playing it with our confidence, we're not in the teens. We're not elite, obviously. We're not in the teens. We're not in the 20s. We're in the 30s. 30, 31, 32. I don't know. If we played the best out of 7, I think we can beat Carolina 4 times. I mean, we crushed them, but look, that wasn't that long ago, and look at this game, how it unfolded. 23-22. I mean, and how it started. I'm going to elaborate on that. We're winning 6-0. It should have been 10-0.
At least.
Or at least, at least, or maybe not 14-0. The reason why, Bobby, how are you so optimistic? You know why? Because coming into this game, even with the backup quarterbacks, we were the 5th-ranked team in the red zone scoring. We were scoring 67% of the time we were getting touchdowns. Well, today we're 50%. Like I said, we're number 5. And so what did we do? We go 10 plays, 67 yards, and we kick a 29-yard field goal. We go 11 plays, 72 yards, kick a 33-yard field goal. So that's like an extra point. Now, Groupies missed a couple of those, as far as extra points. He'll make the 50-yard field goal. But again, we're only winning 6-0. That's when you're on the road. You got to put the hammer down. But what I observed, I don't know, unless because it's your team, a local team, or you live in Carolina, that was 2 bad teams. I mean, there's so many other NFL games going on. I'm watching something else. You might have people because if you have options, let's say you don't have the Red Zone channel or whatever, you can watch all the games. You might have had people, instead of watching CBS and the Saints, Carolina, they might have watched the damn Cowgirls and the Falcons, and where they're at, just to see something that's more meaningful. So it was just 2 bad teams we were witnessing. Like I said, great start. We're not going 3 and out, but then you're settling for field goals. Now, it was also frustrating at the end. We're up 22-17. Now, I can remember this, and you got to do this. It might be boring, whatever, but you don't have to score. You're up 22-17. You know what you need to do? Is get first downs. I'm not talking about 2-minute offense. It's called basically 4-minute offense. Drew Brees and Sean Payton emphasized this. I remember Coach Barr with myself. No, I'm telling you, it's not that hard. You string together 2 or 3 first downs, the damn game's over. And then you win the game play and you're kneeling down. And they don't have a chance to come back. But how can you truly have success, when you're trying to close out the game?
And I was checking out Michael Thomas's Twitter feed. My bad.
Oh, okay, because I'm hearing. I thought maybe he was on the line or something. but how can you have a 4-minute offense to close out games when I'm looking penalties? Okay, like stupid penalties, whatever. I don't know. The officials might have been flag happy. To me, I never liked it when they called 16 penalties. To me, you had 16 penalties. They had, and you know how many times you tell me 9 penalties or more, 100 yards. It's like giving up a touchdown. We lost by 1 point, so that's like yielding a touchdown. But they called 16 penalties in the game, and at the end, I don't know. You flagged Demario Davis, and it looks like even though he didn't get his head around, he's still just going straight up with his hands. And then, are you calling interference or you're not calling interference? But it should never even get to that point. But going back to scenarios when you're trying to close out the game and you have the lead, and therefore, you're not doing anything. It's 2nd and 30. Oh, yeah, we're getting a first down. 2nd down and 30 yards to go, and you're trying to have a sustained drive. The next time we have 1st and 23. I think the odds against you that you're not going to be able to string together 1, 2, or 3 first downs in a row to end the game and end up winning the game. So I'll look at a big play, and these are guys that we're counting on. But, again, Honey Badger's going to miss a tackle a game, maybe 1 or 2. And they go 9 plays, 86 yards just in the third quarter to take the lead, 17-13. I remember Bryce hits Sanders?
Jatavian Sanders.
Yeah. I mean, he ended up leading them in receptions. He had 4 catches, 5 targets for 87 yards, 22-yard average. Had the long gain of 46. I don't know. It was like Pete Werner and Honey Badger. They kind of ran into each other. They kind of kept him up, and he kept going. You just can't have those kind of negative plays by your stars if you can end up winning. But that's why if you look, you could say stats for losers, but a lot of times stats tell you what's happening, but not so much in that game because it does depend in critical situations when it happened because that was winning football. When you look at it as far as us rushing the football, we thought, who can run the football, who could stop the run? Because they were going to give Chuba Hubbard an opportunity to run against us. And he averaged 3.5 yards a run, so I'd say overall we stopped him. He had, but he averaged 4.8, but he had 72 yards. But we had 197 yards, right at 5 yards per carry. So that's frustrating there. Time of possession, we had the ball 9 minutes more. Alvin Kamara, this is winning football when you look at total yards from scrimmage. Or you look the 215, 29 carries, 155 yards, 5.3 yard average, 6 catches, 60 yards. So, I don't know. Like Derek Carr at times, it seems like, I don't know. He looked like an NFL quarterback, but not a $150 million quarterback, so to speak. But, little Bryce, look, he was 16 to 26, but he's just so glad he won a game. And stuff. He ended up being the winning quarterback. Now, when you look at defensively where we're at, Pete Werner again led the team in tackles with 8 total, 6 unassisted, tackle for loss. Carl Granderson had a half a sack. I thought Nathan Shepard, this might have been one of his more productive games as far as he also had a half a sack. They gave him credit with Carl Granderson, 2 quarterback hurries. Carl Granderson had a quarterback hurry, had a tackle for loss. Now, Steve, we talk about, he didn't even make the stat line, but he did get a sack, but it doesn't count on the 2-point attempt. Chase Young. I'm just looking at this. He didn't even make, but that sack does not count, I guess, on a 2-point conversion, like if you get an interception on that particular play. I know we're decimated in the secondary, but still, Jean Charles, I thought, he got beat inside for a touchdown, but I made that up with that key interception. But the bottom line, it was just two bad teams.
And a historically bad outcome for the Saints. They made history today, Cajun Cannon.
Yeah, okay. That's what I want you to share. And, some fans might say, well, it's typical, the damn Saints. And when you're going to read this, to show you how improbable it was for this to happen to the Saints, if you'd have just said they did this, and you talk about NFL history. Now, Steve, Who Dat Nation, y'all listen to this, what Steve's going to tell you, and this would occurred today. That's why you have to look at the ebb and flow of a game and what happens. But you'd be like, well, if you just gave these numbers, so yeah, the Saints are going to win. But read this, Steve.
Yeah, from ESPN's Bill Barnwell, the Saints outgained the Panthers by 150-plus yards. They also ran for 150-plus yards and won the turnover battle. Over the last 20 years, teams that had done that were 275-0. Now, 275-1.
Then some fans will say, like, they're typical Saints.
Outgained them by 150 or more yards, ran for 150 or more, and won the turnover battle.
No, Steve, if you'd have told me that those numbers before the game, because there ain't no way the Saints are going to lose.
No, you think they'd cover, too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, like 7.5.
Ooh.
No, cover. They didn't even win the game. So, no, very frustrating. Not good. Where do they go from here?
I don't know.
That'll be interesting. I still think they might let the season play out. And I think, and I'm elaborate that more as the show goes on, as far as, potential coaching changes. And you might say, well, they got a clean house, so that ain't going to happen. Now, you might restructure things, and I'm going to explain that. But you're not necessarily going to clean house as far as, and I think, because it's Atlanta, I think the fan base, or they'll have enough people, enough fannies in the seats in the dome because it's Atlanta. But you let them lose to Atlanta again, I don't know, you might have 45,000, 50,000 show up for the Browns game.
A lot of orange in there.
And it might be the dog pounds traveling or something from Cleveland, depending. But that's when you look at the bottom line, the money. That's when Dennis Schlauscher and Miss Gale gets involved, and that's why you can't have a fan base that okay, I'm frustrated with the team, I don't have an interest anymore, and that can't happen. And it just goes to show you, boy, it doesn't take long. With Drew Brees and Sean Payton build up post-Katrina, 16 years, within 3 years, it's back to hovering early 21st century. Late 20th century, Mike Ditka Haslett. You know how you kind of on that roller coaster? Okay, got rid of that Ditka. Oh, Haslett won their first playoff game. And then what happened to Haslett, the 4 or 5, a handful of years.
Not sustained success.
Yeah, and pre-Katrina. So, no, that's kind of where we're at right now. And once you win a Super Bowl, the fans get to the point where they're so frustrated that they might do something else instead of watch their favorite team until maybe you give them hope. You got to give fans hope. But I can tell you this. Now, you can do what you want. But to me, once you win a Super Bowl, you don't need to wear no damn bag. You might want to wear, bring a bag, a paper bag to the stadium, just in case. I don't know what's happening in Atlanta, or maybe the Browns or the rest of the home games. But I say, once you win a Super Bowl, no, we are not the Lions. And that's the Lions who've never been to the Super Bowl. That's the Cleveland Browns who've never been to the Super Bowl. So you have to look at that scenario, and if your team's not winning. Now, you could boo. You could boo from the beginning, the kickoff, until the end of the game. But I just think that the Saints have earned more what they established by winning a Super Bowl. And to me, that's drawing attention to yourself if you want to wear paper bag. Now, if you go 1-15 and you've never won, yes, those are paper bag days. But I don't think we're there right now. That would just be in the social media age. Oh, film me. Look, I got my paper bag on my head.
Back to the Aints, basically.
Yeah. No, we won a Super Bowl. We're not going back to the Aints.